And what I'd like for us to do we'll have Eric Patel presenting from Boston EXO, based in the US. We'll have Craig and Liesel presenting from ExoFutures, and they're located in South Africa. And then we've got Sahar, who is situated in Bahrain and represents her own business called Impactique. And I think so. We're going to jump into ExoFutures. Craig, to Blanche, and Liesel van Horen, if you wouldn't mind.
Awesome. Thanks very much, Kelly. And off we go. Yeah, it occurred to me that there are probably some people here that are not, or there may be some people here that are not familiar with the Exo Canvas. So if you're not familiar with the Exo Canvas, please do have a squiz at it. You can download it on, maybe Kev, you could pop the link from the OpenExo site where you can get to it. Yeah, because essentially, if you're not part of the community and you haven't done the certifications, then some of the terms may be unfamiliar to you. But I'll try and sort of elaborate on them as we go through. So from an ExoFutures point of view, yeah, we started and just over a year ago, probably almost 18 months now. Coming out of, and we have a couple of businesses that are really already running and are still running, but started looking at, having come out of exposure to OpenExo, leveraging exponential possibilities. So, what we see is that people are left behind and increasingly excluded from economic development and financial inclusion. So the concern that as you digitize and as you embrace the digital future, there's on the one hand the chance that you become less human, but on the other hand the need to really be more human, and particularly from that perspective to try and not leave other people behind, and especially from an African perspective, people are being left behind. Financial inclusion is a massive issue, as is economic development. And we saw the opportunity that exponential thinking can liberate and accelerate learning and enlighten all of our collective intelligence. So that was kind of the starting position and the opportunity that we saw. And 2019 was kind of a huge awakening. So back in Cape Town, gee, Kev, it feels like yesterday. It was, March 2019, that we all met at Africa Tech Week. Kent presented virtually. It was the first time I'd seen one of these like big virtual presentations. Met Jabeen, Luciana, Emily, Sydney Smith, Salim. So, really having the opportunity to meet the core, see the core of the community, and really get excited about the message, And that took us into a journey, and all of this is all about the certification journey. So first of all, we did my whole management team did the Growth Institute Exo Business Masters. So that was fun. And then we hadn't had enough yet, so we did the Exo Coaching certification. And the consultant certification wasn't out at that point, so we had to retrospect that a bit later, but also did Open Ambassador certification. And then even later on, in fact, I think it was earlier this year, did the Exo training. So a bunch of us have certified in different ways across the various certification opportunities. So just taking a step back to, when I read Exponential Organizations, and I did read it before I met Salim, but after that event, I read it again. And the Beware the Expert chapter is what really resonated with me when I read it for the second time. It actually resulted in me firing my business partner at the time, because he was a big five consulting guy with a real linear perspective. And I just thought, wow, this is what's been holding me back, trying to extrapolate the future based on the past. That was definitely not working for me. So got rid of my business partner at the time and explored this idea of awakening to exponential possibilities and the abundance mindset. And at that time, my MTP was making entrepreneurship easy in Africa, which is kind of an impossible task. Over to you, Liesel.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
thanks, Craig.
didn't give you a chance earlier.
So yes, my initial MTP was to create access to employment and skills development for everyone in Africa. And I think this MTP actually realized itself before my birth, and really only became more and more of a passion of mine as the decades passed. And then Craig and myself got together, and yeah, Craig can tell you the rest of the story.
Well, Liesl, we were working damn hard on a business that we weren't having a lot of fun in, but that's a different story. So the awakening continued, and we started selling and promoting the Exo Awake sessions. So the Exo Awake session is really about, and if I just flash the canvas up here, it's really about starting with getting people to understand their massive transformative purpose, or the need for a massive transformative purpose, and getting them to understand the opportunity that exponential technologies and these attributes bring for transformation. And you've seen some of that in the Boston EXO, in Eric's pitch, is some of the possibilities there. So, and what we found was quite amazing. So we had a number of attempts at getting people to open their mind, think more exponentially, want to change, want to transform their businesses, and found that most people are in a cave. They, to use the Socrates cave analogy, they see the walls, they just don't see beyond that, and I thought back to, it took me the second reading of the book for some of the lights to go on, and realized that a lot of the fundamentals of exponentiality, if I can put it that way, people are not even aware of them. So this is part of, getting people to see the fundamentals is part of what we're trying to do now. And we've always practiced staff on demand. I mean, we've in the training business, which is our ExoFutures business at the moment, it's really just Liesl and myself, but the work gets done between us and more by Liesl than me, to be honest, and by outsourcing everything else. So we don't have a big team at all, but we collaborate quite extensively within the community and with other resources that we trust and that we've worked with before. And we often get gig pieces of work done on Fiverr or on platforms like OneCircle or wherever we can. So and we've always had flexible workspace and hours and flexible hours, and we've always been more focused on outcomes. So OKR type thinking and working is not new to us. We've got a software business that delivers agile sprint, lean MVPs, viable products and solutions to customers. That's all been part of our thinking in the past. But what we've really increased is experimentation. So interesting to see your experimentation focus as well, Eric. We've been using the Write It from Alberto Ceballos. It's a great, if anyone's not aware of it or not seen it, have a look at pretotyping.org. He covers quite extensively an experimentation approach that you can use for product marketing, product market fit. Increased business experimentation is a massive part of our exponential journey across various aspects of developing the business. And obviously we've, having come from lean and agile, we've understood automation and continuous improvement, but the exponential journey is taking that to another level. So what we found is that people have a really limited perspective and a lot of baggage typically. And I don't know if that's true for globally, but I think the Africans in the room will attest to that being the case. And by Africans, I mean all of us in all of our diversity. And of course, that limited perspective, if you've grown up in a shack and you've gone hungry most days, your sort of perspective of abundance will be extremely limited. Your perspective is scarcity is the way the world works, kind of thing. But that goes all the way to the boardroom, and in fact, boardrooms promote scarcity because that's how they create competition. So exponentiality is Greek in Africa is the view that I put here. And So we shifted our focus to, and I guess this comes to what happened with, during C19, shifted our focus to community and tribe, and, really building out the fundamentals of exponentiality. And our initial focus was entrepreneurship, but then C19 drove us back to this passion for entrepreneurship, and the MTP evolved to democratizing entrepreneurship in Africa. So that's what we've been driving, and kind of only launched that, I guess, 3 months ago now. But that passion for entrepreneurship, and getting the community involved and engaged, and getting them, each one to teach one, is one of the mantras that we're following. So get involved, and I'm learning from the youngsters in the community, and it's tremendous to actually experience that learning and teaching, and continuous learning and teaching, and it's a virtuous circle, which is really awesome. So this community is growing exponentially, having only started at mid-year, and there've been quite a few community initiatives for engagement, which is where Liesel's been absolutely fantastic. So Liesel's going to just touch on a little bit of that aspect.
Thank you, Craig. I think our ride, literally from April, when we started coming up with the entrepreneurial brain concept and putting that forward, and we really it's a sweet spot around about mid-June only this year. And literally our community has evolved from June. So we have quite a number of initiatives in place, which serves both our entrepreneurs and our enablers in our community. So we are continuously working with our community, very closely with them, to add more opportunities and initiatives to democratize entrepreneurship in Africa. And that is our. So some of these initiatives, I'm not going to talk to all of them, but really includes our Masterminder and Challenge Minder initiative, which one of our champions brought to the table. And we worked with Melissa to evolve this further. So this concept really entails where our Masterminders and Challenge Minders coach our entrepreneurs to leverage exponential possibilities for their businesses. And we have a very exciting Masterminder project going at the moment, which Craig's involved with.
Yeah, so it's fascinating. I mean, some friends of mine started a rhino dehorning project, and I happen to know some of the people that are involved in one of the big game lodges, and we gave these guys the challenge of dehorning rhinos next year, when the Lions tour, which is a rugby tour that's coming out to South Africa, happens. And we're busy supporting them in how they're going to get that done and how we're going to organize all of that. So it's kind of exciting stuff, really left field, but really exciting.
Very exponential. So some of the other initiatives we do is we run weekly workshops with guest speakers, and these guest speakers, just for everybody participating in this call, is open to anybody across the globe. So if you feel that you can come and add value to our community, we have an entrepreneurial brain framework. You select a concept which you feel passionate about. We run these workshops, and then that could then evolve into many other initiatives. And we are quite busy with rolling out a couple of initiatives from previous workshops. So these workshops really create awareness, practice required to be a successful entrepreneur. And then also, we're very excited about our skills development offerings for rapid skills development. You did see my post in the chat where our focus is to drive a thing called minimal viable courses as well. And then we've also recently introduced a very, very exciting concept to skills development, looking at where future skills development is going, and that is machine learning for rapid skills development. We are available to talk to that in more detail as well. So that's very exciting. Our enabler initiatives, and then I'm done, Craig, includes, amongst others, an affiliate program which we launched, and that's going to be very exciting for both our enablers and our entrepreneurs in the community. Chat to us more about that. And then also very important, and we're very passionate about skills development for our entrepreneurs as well, because that will help us democratize entrepreneurship in Africa. So you can also participate as a skills developer in our offering to our community over and above participating or enrolling in our skills development program. So what we're really driving with our initiatives is value for our community. Craig, I don't know if you would like to add to that.
No, I mean, just in summary, every entrepreneur that joins the community has some value to contribute and has some skill and some experience, and we're actually helping them digitize that so that they can offer it to the community. So it's a continual, virtuous circle of learning. Cool. So yeah, we're developing the Entrepreneurial Brain to democratize entrepreneurship. It's a framework. There's a Miro board. We can share the link on that. Perhaps you can pop it in the chat, Liesl, if you're interested. And the tribe continues to contribute to the collective intelligence of the community. So there we really are using autonomy. Everybody has something to contribute, and everybody learns and gives back at the same time. In terms of leveraged assets and that Exo Canvas attribute, the brain is a shared resource. So we have sessions like this, a concept comes up, we add it to the canvas, and then we go and research and get somebody to develop the skills and knowledge enhancement that comes out of that. Everybody's working remotely. We use social media extensively, and Liesl mentioned some of our advanced learning platforms, including machine learning that we've got in the back end. It's early days, but there's some exciting stuff coming up there. We've used automation historically, but advanced automation using exponential technology is now starting to be part of the whole way forward. And of course, leveraging social communication as well. So, Liesl, did I leave anything important out?
I think, Craig, that's cool. And I think we're out of time as well. Hey, Kenny.
Yeah, I felt I had to make up some time. So, but a bit rushed, but hope that hits the spot.
No, that's great. Thank you so much. It's amazing. And it's also amazing to see for both Boston EXO as well as the ExoFutures, how much you guys have actually achieved in such a short space of time. And the beauty of the EXO framework, I mean, we offer that as a service offering to our clients, but being able to incorporate that into our own businesses and building our own business is fantastic.
Awesome. Thank
you for sharing.